Hello, everyone. Welcome back to EngGlowUp, the channel where we turn everyday moments into English learning. I am Flora.
And I am Michael. That's right. And today's topic is one that makes most people's hearts race: job interviews.
Exactly. Whether you're applying for your very first job or aiming for a new position, interviews can be scary. But today, we're going to make them feel a little less scary.
We'll talk through real interview questions, model natural answers, and share small tips to help you sound confident and professional in English.
And we'll do it just like a real interview. I'll be the interviewer, and Michael will be our candidate. Ready for it?
I guess I have no choice.
All right,
Let's do it.
let's set the scene. You've just arrived at the company for your interview. You've greeted the receptionist, waited a few minutes, and now the hiring manager walks in.
You stand up, smile, and offer a handshake.
Perfect. Let's begin. Good morning, Michael. Thank you for coming in today.
Good morning, Flora. Thank you for inviting me. I'm excited to be here.
That's a simple but very natural start. Notice how he thanks the interviewer and uses a positive word, excited. It sets a good tone.
Yes, it shows you're happy to be there, not nervous or cold. That first impression really counts.
Exactly. All right, here comes the first question. Probably the most common one in any interview. Can you tell me a little about yourself?
Ah, the classic one. Everyone gets this question, but most people don't know how to answer it clearly.
So, how would you?
I'd say something like, well, I'm Michael, and I have a background in marketing. Over the past few years, I've worked on developing digital campaigns that helped small businesses grow online. I really enjoyed creative work, teamwork, and learning new strategies.
Nice. That's short, clear, and focused. You talked about what you do, your experience, and a bit of your personality.
Yes, the key is to keep it professional, but also human, not just a list of jobs, but what you enjoy about them.
Exactly. And for beginners, remember, you can always use simple connectors like I have worked in, I enjoy, or my main responsibility was. These make your answers flow smoothly.
Okay, Flora, now it's my turn to ask you a question. Let's switch roles. You're the candidate now.
All right, hit me with your best question, boss.
All right. Why do you want to work here?
Good one. I might say, I've been following your company for a while, and I really admire your focus on innovation and teamwork. I feel my skills in communication and organization would fit well with your company culture.
Beautiful. That answer connects you to the company. It's not just about what you want, but what you can contribute.
Exactly. That's a big mistake many people make. They talk only about what they want from the job, not what they bring to the job.
Right. Let's keep going. Next one. What are your strengths?
The self-praise question. Tricky, but important. I'd say one of my strengths is adaptability. I adjust quickly to new environments and enjoy learning from challenges.
Good one. And it sounds humble, confident, but not arrogant.
Yes, you can also mention teamwork, communication, or time management, but don't just list them. Give a short example.
For example, I'm good at teamwork. In my last job, I helped organize weekly meetings that improved coordination in our team.
Exactly. That makes your strength believable.
Okay. Now, let's flip to a slightly harder question. What are your weaknesses?
Oof, the scary one. You have to be honest, but smart. You can't just say, I have no weaknesses, right?
No way. That would sound unrealistic.
So maybe something like, sometimes I take on too many tasks because I want to be helpful. but I've been learning to prioritize better.
Perfect. You show self-awareness and growth. You're working on it.
Exactly. Interviewers love that balance of honesty and improvement.
Okay, now, next one. A situational question. Tell me about a time you faced a challenge at work and how you handled it.
I'd say in my previous job, there was a project deadline that was very tight. Our team was under pressure, but I organized a quick meeting, divided tasks clearly, and we managed to deliver everything on time.
That's a great structure. Situation, action, and result. We can call it the SAR method.
Yes, and it keeps your story short but powerful.
So, Flora, what would you say is the overall secret to sounding confident in interviews?
I'd say preparation and mindset. When you practice your answers out loud, your brain starts recognizing the phrases. You sound natural instead of rehearsed.
True. And a little smile helps too, even if it's over Zoom.
Definitely. Smiling changes your tone, even your confidence.
You know, when I did my first interview years ago, I was so nervous I forgot my own name for a second.
No way.
Yes, the interviewer said, "Please introduce yourself," and my brain just went blank.
Oh, I can relate. It happens to everyone. That's why we always tell people, don't aim to be perfect. Aim to be present and clear.
All right, so we've covered introductions, strengths, weaknesses, and situational questions. Next, we'll get into questions about teamwork and career goals.
Yes, and maybe even a few tricky ones about salary and where you see yourself in 5 years.
That's coming next. Stay tuned.
All right, so far we've gone through the first few questions, introductions, strengths, and weaknesses. But interviews often go a bit deeper, don't they?
They sure do. After the basics, interviewers love to ask about how you work with others, teamwork, leadership, conflict, all that fun stuff.
Yes, because no matter what job you're applying for, communication and collaboration are always part of it. So, let's go through one of those common teamwork questions. Can you tell me about a time you worked well in a team?
That one's great. It's your chance to show you're not a lone wolf. You could answer something like, in my last job, I worked with a team to organize a company event. I made sure everyone knew their roles, helped solve small problems, and we completed everything on time. It was a great experience.
Nice and simple. You showed what you did, how you helped, and what the result was.
Exactly. And it's positive. Interviewers want to see that you can cooperate and support others.
Now, sometimes they ask the opposite, about conflict. For example, tell me about a time you disagreed with a coworker.
Oh, yes. That one can make people nervous.
It can, but it's not about blaming anyone. It's about how you handled challenges calmly. You can say, there was a time when my colleague and I had different ideas about a project. We discussed our opinions and found a solution that worked for both of us. It taught me how to listen and compromise.
Perfect answer. It shows maturity and emotional intelligence. You didn't ignore the problem or attack anyone. You solved it.
Exactly. That's what most employers want to see. Problem solvers, not complainers.
All right. Now let's move to career-related questions. These are the ones that usually start with, where do you see yourself in 5 years?
The classic question that makes everyone panic a little.
Yes, because most people don't actually know exactly where they'll be in 5 years.
Right, but that's okay. The key is to show ambition and growth. You could say something like, in 5 years, I see myself continuing to grow in this field, taking on new challenges and developing skills that help me contribute more to the team.
Beautiful. That shows long-term interest and motivation. You don't need to be too specific, just show direction.
Exactly. Interviewers are looking for people who have goals, not necessarily a perfect 5-year plan.
Here's another one. Why did you leave your last job?
Oof, that's another tricky one. It's important to stay positive. Never badmouth your old company or boss.
Yes. Instead, focus on what you're looking for next. For example, I enjoyed my time at my last job, but I'm looking for new opportunities to grow and learn more in this field.
Perfectly said. That shows professionalism and optimism.
Now, what about what motivates you at work?
That's a good question because it tells the interviewer what drives you. I'd say, I feel motivated when I see progress, when I know my work is helping the team or the company reach a goal.
I like that. It shows purpose and contribution, not just money or comfort.
Exactly. Though there's nothing wrong with saying you enjoy challenges or learning new skills, too.
Yes, the more genuine it sounds, the better. Interviewers can always tell when you're being real.
Okay, now let's touch on one question that can be a bit uncomfortable. Salary expectations.
Ah, yes, the money question. Smiles. It can be awkward, especially in English.
Right. The safest approach is to stay flexible but informed. You could say, I'm open to discussing a fair salary based on the responsibilities of the role and the market standard.
That's great. It shows that you've done your research, but you're not being demanding.
Exactly. If you want, you can also give a range instead of a single number. That gives both sides room to talk.
Now, Flora, let's talk about nonverbal communication, because what you say isn't the only thing that matters, right?
Oh yes, your body language speaks just as loudly as your words.
Like maintaining eye contact. It shows confidence and honesty.
Yes, and posture too. Sitting up straight gives an impression of attention and respect.
And don't forget the handshake. Firm but friendly. Not too strong, not too soft.
Yes, a Goldilocks handshake. Just right.
Also, tone of voice. If you sound monotone, you might seem bored. But if your tone has energy, it makes the conversation feel alive.
That's right. It's amazing how tone can change the entire meaning of a sentence.
Exactly. You can say, I'm really interested in this job, in a dull tone, and it sounds fake. But say it with warmth, and they'll believe it.
Yes, confidence is energy in your voice.
Also, Flora, I think we should also cover what to do after the interview, the follow-up.
Oh, yes. That's a step many people forget. After your interview, it's polite to send a short thank you email.
Something like, thank you for the opportunity to interview for this position. I really enjoyed our conversation and learning more about your team.
Exactly. That little message leaves a good final impression. It shows you're thoughtful and professional.
And it keeps the communication open. Sometimes it even makes you stand out from other candidates.
Yes, small gestures often make the biggest difference.
We've gone through so many useful questions, from introductions to tricky ones like salary and conflict.
Yes, and all of these can be practiced at home. That's the secret. The more you say them aloud, the more natural they become.
Absolutely. You can even record yourself answering and listen to your tone. That's how I improved years ago. I realized I sounded way too serious.
And now you sound just right.
Thanks, Flora. I try.
All right, Next, let's explore questions related to achievements and creativity. Those are the ones where you really get to shine.
Yes, let's do it.
All right, Michael, now that we've handled the tough parts, like conflict and salary, let's move to something more positive. Let's talk about achievements.
Yes, interviewers love to hear about moments when you succeeded. It helps them see what kind of results you can bring.
Exactly. One of the common questions is, what achievement are you most proud of?
That's a golden question. It's your moment to shine. But the trick is to tell your story clearly, not just list what you did.
Right. I usually suggest using a simple structure, the STAR method: situation, task, action, result.
Yes, that's my favorite too. Let's give an example. Suppose you're applying for an office job. You could say, in my previous job, we had a challenge with organizing reports. That's the situation. My task was to make the process faster. I created a new digital filing system. That's the action. And as a result, we saved almost 3 hours a week. That's the result.
Perfect example. Short, clear, and impressive. And it shows impact.
Exactly. You don't need a huge story, just something that shows growth, initiative, and results.
And if you're a student or someone without work experience, you can still use this question. Talk about achievements in school, volunteer work, or even a project you did yourself.
Yes, maybe you led a group project, learned a new skill, or helped someone solve a problem. It all counts.
Okay, now let's talk about creativity and problem solving. Another question that shows up often is, tell me about a time you solved a problem.
Yes. This one tests your thinking skills and attitude. They want to know if you panic or if you stay calm.
Exactly. And again, you can use the STAR method here too. For example, a customer once complained about a product delay. I listened carefully, apologized, and found a faster delivery option. The customer appreciated it and stayed loyal.
Beautiful answer. Shows empathy, quick thinking, and responsibility.
And it also highlights soft skills, communication, patience, and customer focus.
Right. Interviewers remember candidates who stay calm and solution-oriented.
Now, there's one more kind of question people often get near the end. Do you have any questions for us?
Ah, yes. The question that's actually a test.
Exactly. They want to see that you're interested, not just waiting to leave.
So never say, no, I don't have any questions. Always prepare one or two.
For example, you can ask, what does a typical day look like in this role? Or, what qualities do you think make someone successful in this position?
Those are great. They show curiosity and motivation.
And my favorite is, how do you measure success in this role? That one makes you sound goal-oriented.
Yes, it shows that you're already thinking about contributing, not just getting the job.
Now, let's imagine we've gone through the whole interview. What's a good way to end it politely?
Good question. You could say something like, thank you for your time today. I really enjoyed our conversation and learning more about the company.
Yes, polite and warm. It's also good to smile and shake hands if appropriate. It leaves a positive final impression.
Exactly. And even if you're nervous, end confidently. That's the moment they'll remember.
That's true. The last minute is often the most powerful.
Also, I think we should quickly talk about mindset. How to feel confident during the interview.
Definitely. Because even if you know all the answers, nerves can get in the way.
Exactly. One trick that helps me is visualization. Before you walk into the room,
Picture yourself calm, smiling, and speaking clearly.
I love that. I also remind myself the interview is not an exam, it's a conversation.
Yes, it's two people finding out if they can work well together.
That change of perspective makes a huge difference. You stop trying to be perfect and start being present.
Exactly. And remember to breathe, literally. Slow, deep breaths help you relax before you speak.
Simple but powerful.
All right, Flora. We've covered a lot. Teamwork, problem solving, achievements, creativity, confidence, and even the final thank you.
Yes, this is the kind of episode I wish I had listened to before my first interview.
Me too. I remember I was so nervous, I forgot the company name when they asked why I wanted to work there.
Oh no. That's a classic. But that's how we learn. And now you're the one giving advice.
True. Every mistake becomes a story later.
Exactly. And hopefully everyone listening today will walk into their next interview with more clarity and calm.
Yes, and confidence.
Absolutely.
If you enjoyed this conversation and learned something useful, remember to follow EngGlowUp, the channel where we turn everyday moments into English learning.
That's right. And in our next episode, we'll talk about English for the workplace. Conversations you can use once you've landed that job.
It's going to be practical and fun. You don't want to miss it.
Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and keep glowing up your English.
See you soon.